On June 17, 2024, residents of Virginia were faced with a problem as rainwater and sewage were flowing into their homes.
And it was almost 24 inches of sewage down here. It was over the toilet seat.
Tammy Souter bought her home in 2003 and says the flooding 21 years later left her basement ruined.
This basement was finished, all cedar, had a bar, all nice new furniture in here. And it was all gone. It was all taken away because of a sewage backup that didn't need to happen.
Almost a year to date later, the flooding returned.
I was sitting at the top of my steps and I wasn't even crying, but tears were coming down my face because I think I was in such shock that I couldn't believe that this was happening. And it just kept coming in.
Tammy was out of town when the storm first hit. She raced home to salvage what she could, still having to throw away treasured memories.
You go through an emotional period where you lose all of your memories that you had. I had everything in bins and not in cardboard boxes. I lost all my photo albums, all of my hometown memorabilia because I grew up in Bowabic, and everything was lost. Every memory of childhood stuff I had in bins, and the water was so high it tipped the bins over and the covers came up, filled with sewage.
Just a few blocks down, Teresa and Tom Geiselman were facing a similar problem.
Last year we had a major rain event and our basement flooded, as did many of the residents here in Virginia. This year on June 16th and the 20th, that was Monday and a Friday, the same week, we received sewage into our basement from the city sewer system.
The Geiselmans had recently made repairs to their basement, still recovering from last year's flooding.
Monday morning, we were ripping out brand new carpet that we had installed, and we had lifted furniture up onto ping pong tables and stuff like that.
Left to not only bear the weight of the storms physically, but emotionally as well.
I think you got to remember, we're not just losing furniture. A lot of people, too, have lost things that we can't replace, photos and other family memorabilia and things that you can't just buy again. So that adds to that emotional toll a lot for people. They just can't go through this again, and everybody's tired.
The story repeats for Melissa Yarrick, who was at home when the water filled her basement.
I was sitting on my couch watching TV, and I noticed that my power went out. And I thought, well, that's weird because the TV went off, but yet the rest of the power was on. And I thought, what's going on? Well, I walked over to the basement door, and I opened the door, and within that amount of time, I had water almost up to the bottom of my first step.
Like so many others, Melissa was faced with a mess she would need to clean up.
It just felt like devastation. You know, you have this huge mess in your basement, and you don't know what to do or where to start.
3 floods now, and residents of Virginia are frustrated, searching for answers to the problem.
Why does this keep happening every time it rains? It shouldn't. We should not have sewage in our basements. Should not. And it shouldn't come in through the walls, either on the floors.
We've taken precautions because we've been flooded, and it's still not enough.
It isn't flooding. It isn't homeowner neglect.
I feel like the truth isn't being told here, and I think that the city owes it to its residents to tell them the truth.
Virginia Mayor Larry Cuffey says the city has been working to better understand the problem themselves.
We have a firm called People Services that manages our wastewater treatment plant. And when the water level gets a little high, an alarm goes off, and they respond down to the water sewer treatment plant and start processing the water and start monitoring the gauges and things of that nature. We opened up a bypass valve once we found the water flow was our wastewater treatment plant could not hold that water flow. And so we hit the bypass, and it was a significant amount of rainfall. And the estimate is anywhere from 4 to 6 inches. And that overwhelmed our ability to process the water in our wastewater treatment plant. So we only really have one alternative, unlike some of the other cities where they have an opportunity to have a collection pond. The city of Virginia does not have a collection pond. We are landlocked. We don't have any room for that.
Mayor Cuffey says he understands the emotional scars left with the residents of Virginia, but hopes the city can help.
So the city has a plan moving forward. That plan is going to take a while to get that implemented. All our pumps are old and antiquated, and they all were functioning properly. But each one of those at today's price is a minimum of $150,000 for each pump. So we need to maybe, if we need to add more lift stations, if we need to find a way to do that. We need to help the residents protect themselves. And we're going to be using all resources we have. We're going to go to some of the entities that can provide us grant money for that. We might have to raise a levy. There's a lot of things we have to do in order to help those residents and businesses mitigate. And so that's the long-term approach. The short-term is to help them comply with and protect their property as best we can. My heart goes out to all of them who suffer this damage. We have to find a way at least to stop it from happening.
And change is what they're searching for.
We'd like some more answers or more
Reassurance,
plans and or, what can we do differently?
And just this afternoon, WDIO received a memorandum from the City of Virginia outlining their plan to help mitigate the flooding in both short-term and long-term actions. Let's take a look. Beginning with the short-term actions, within the next 1 to 3 years, the city plans to continue smoke testing and CCTV inspections, clean the southern drive trunk line, potentially identify and construct a surge basin to help manage peak stormwater flows, and explore the rerouting of the wastewater treatment plant overflow to a downstream channel. And within the next 3 to 10 years, the city hopes to implement stormwater improvements to the impacted areas of town and expand stormwater modeling and planning to evaluate the second major watershed in the northern and western parts of the city. The city will also continue to apply for local, state, and federal grants, as well as other funding opportunities in order to support their plans. This is a constantly changing story, and WDIO will work to keep you informed as it progresses.
Yeah, what a major issue for those folks up there. Sounds like they're working on it as best they can. Thank you, Mary, for that great report.